Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Congressman Tom Rooney coming to you from Washington, D.C. to give you an update as to what happened this week in Congress. On Monday, I teamed up with my Florida colleague, Alcee Hastings, to introduce a resolution to encourage voluntary fair hiring practices in the private sector. The inspiration of this resolution stemmed from a rule you may have heard of in the NFL that came from my Uncle Dan, which is known as the Rooney Rule. It was established in 2002, and this rule required all NFL teams with a job opening for a coach or a GM to interview at least one minority candidate for that position. And since its enactment, the percentage of African American coaches in the NFL has increased by almost 20%. So similar to the NFL rule, our resolution would encourage businesses to interview at least one candidate from an underrepresented population for senior leadership positions before making a final decision. This resolution doesn't create or alter federal law. Rather, it's our hope that this resolution will encourage the private sector to put into place their own voluntary initiatives to encourage best practices for diversity in the hiring process. Also this week, the Social Security Administration issued a rule last year that would automatically enroll certain Social Security beneficiaries into the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, better known as the NICS. The rule says that if you have someone managing your money and Social Security benefits, then your name goes into this NICS. But there's no data to suggest that because you have someone manage your money and benefits that you are any more likely to commit a violent act with a gun. So this is why the House voted this week to overturn that rule. The Social Security Administration should focus on providing people with their benefits, not depriving them of their constitutional rights. Next, I signed on to legislation on Wednesday written by my Florida colleague Ron DeSantis, which would institute term limits in the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate. If passed, there would be a constitutional amendment process which would limit senators to no more than 2 full terms and limit House members to no more than 3 full terms. The American people are in favor of term limits. Serving in Congress is an honor and a privilege, but it shouldn't be a lifelong career. And finally, as I'm sure many of you know, the President nominated Judge Neil Gorsuch this week to fill the vacancy on the Supreme Court after the passing of Justice Antonin Scalia. He has shown excellence at every step of his impressive career. He's a strong defender of our Constitution and a steady proponent of states' rights, but most importantly, a fair and thoughtful jurist who believes that neither the court nor the bureaucrats make the law. The Congress elected by the people do. 10 years ago, Judge Gorsuch was unanimously confirmed by the Senate to serve on the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. As such, I believe that the members of the Senate should follow their own precedent and swiftly confirm him to the Supreme Court. That's all I have for you this week. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this message, and I hope that you and your families have a great weekend.